am Lady Charmaine, and my guest today's unique powerhouse vocals and breathtaking testimony make his time before audiences exceptionally memorable. His 2012 Stellar Award-nominated song, I Choose to Worship, recently garnered a 2012 BMI Songwriters Award in June of 2012. And he's here today to talk about his brand new project and his very first annual Recovery Fest being held September 28th and 29th. Help me welcome Pastor Wess Morgan to the show. How you doing, Pastor Morgan?
I'm wonderful. I'm glad to be with you today.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're here. I've been trying to get you on the show for a long time, so I'm glad you finally made it. Praise the Lord. Now, I came to know you last year, a year before last, with your song, I Choose to Worship, that you wrote, which just really took churches truly into a whole nother place of worship. I want you to tell us about the song, and from what place was that song birthed out of?
Well, the song actually came from a real difficult time in my life when I just was struggling with some seeds that I had sown. They were now growing and flourishing. When I was out there in the streets, and so many things began to happen and transpire in my life. It was very challenging for me. I was going through a real dark season, and I just recalled my mother teaching me that worship is a choice, not a feeling. So I just began to pen that song as I wrote from the sentiments of my heart.
And so that's where the song came from. Now, you have a little twang. Where are you from, Wes?
I'm from Mississippi.
Are you? What part of Mississippi?
I live in Nashville, but I'm from Mississippi.
Okay, because you a soulful brother. You know that? You very soulful. I'm sure many people have told you that. Very soulful man. Now, I know that your testimony is very powerful. You have a powerful testimony of deliverance because, as I read, you were once addicted to drugs and God delivered you. Can you kind of share your story? And were you raised in church?
Oh, yeah. I was raised in church. My mother and father were pastors. I spent a lot of my time in church, literally. I remember being in church all day, all night. But yes, my addiction it's been spelled out oftentimes through radio and just from the stage that I minister from. Just letting people let them know where I come from. And it's just amazing how God can just turn your life completely around. Addicted to cocaine for 15 years, in and out of jail cells, rehab centers, rehabilitations. I've just been through so many systems, and then God just turned my life around. So I have quite a story to tell about that whole addiction life.
Now, with you being raised in the church, because I know we're going to be talking about this wonderful fest that God has blessed you with, you were raised in church. Do you recall when your life began to take that turn? Because I'm sure your parents taught you well how to stay away from drugs, as we all do. We all teach our children that. Can you recall like the steps that it took for you to get to where you ended up being addicted and not really listening to the teachings that your parents gave you growing up?
Sure. Well, a lot of it, was that I had been taught so well, and a lot of people ask the question, how do you live in an environment that you lived in, yet still tripped up by whatever it may be, addiction? For me, it's a lot to process, really. But I remember just not being happy with what I was experiencing as a church. For me, I'm bushy-tailed. I'm into life 100%. And, my family grew up in a particular religion that really just caused people to recluse from life. And it just kind of about religion than it was about relationship. I'm so grateful that my family at a young age saw that and got us out of that. But I think a lot of it had, he said that the law has
Wes, hold a moment. Are you moving? Because the phone is kind of going in and out.
I'm at the airport, girl.
Oh, okay. Well, that answers that.
I was concerned that it was going to cause problems, but I couldn't change anything. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Do you want to just pick up right there?
Yeah, because you were kind of going in and out. I kind of caught you when you had said about it wasn't about religion. I mean, relationship. It was about religion, but it was going in and out as you begin to talk about the church.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
You know, the thing for me was that, well, it was more about religion, man-made rules, that kind of thing, than it was about, relationship with Christ. And I think that is the meat of Christianity by my own opinion. But I think that a lot of it Paul said something. He said, the law has wrought in me all manner of concupiscence. And basically what he was saying is that, so many people, we capitalize on what you can't do, what you don't need to do, don't do this, on this, but we never explain to people why. Why don't we do it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you give the law without grace, then it breaks people, and they don't have. But anyway, I won't get too much in there because I'll start teaching. But my point is that a lot of it comes from, stop really standing on what Christianity really is, which is a relationship with Christ. That's what it is. It's a relationship. And so I think that's the number one thing. And then outside of that, I was just curious and always running with older people. I just got myself in all kind of trouble, girl.
Okay. Now, so at what point did you realize, because, sometimes people can be on substances but don't think they're addicted. When did you finally realize, I need some help? I am addicted to this thing. How long did that take from beginning to when you realized that you were actually an addict?
I knew I needed help for a long time before I accepted help. My deal was I didn't want to, because I loved getting high. I was really addicted. I loved it. And so, for me, I knew I needed help when I first did it. I knew when I hit that pipe, when I started doing my thing, snorting that dope, it automatically just sucked me right in. I was like, oh Jesus, I done went too far this time. And then it just slung me into a downward spiral, and I went for years. I started young, and just all through my teenage years, my young adult life, in and out of jail so much. So I didn't mean to kind of bypass your question, but the truth of it is I realized I needed help as soon as I did it. Some people are that way. They can do it, and then they can go on about their business, and it's not really a real problem like it was for me. For me, it was horrible. I couldn't do nothing but go to jail all the time. So you got some people, they don't stop, but I would go on binges. I'd stay gone for weeks at a time. People be looking for me and everything.
Wow. So what were the steps that it took to finally get you delivered?
Accountability.
Okay.
Accountability. I got out of jail and I moved straight in with my mom and dad and my family. Not because I didn't have a place to stay, but just because I knew for me to get free and to live a life of freedom, then it was going to take accountability. Extreme accountability in my life. So for a year and a half, I didn't walk down the driveway to the mailbox by myself.
Wow. Because you knew that those cravings would lead you somewhere else.
I knew it was going to take time for the word to process me and to get me to a place where I could stand on my own 2 feet. It's just like a person going in and they have surgery. You can't jump up off the surgery table and just go running around. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is the doctors went inside your body and he or she has fixed whatever was wrong. But you got to go back and heal up and recoup and get your legs back under you and rehabilitate yourself mentally, not just physically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the thing that I realized. I had to get in a safe place where I could rehabilitate my mind and rehabilitate my spirit, et cetera,
Wow, that's a beautiful story to know that you needed accountability, to know that you couldn't walk to the mailbox by yourself. And that's when you really know yourself. And because of what you went through, you are now doing your first annual Recovery Fest. Tell us about that.
Well, you have to understand I'm part of a group of people or how would you say it, just an element of folk in the world that are typically ostracized from the main public, because I was a criminal. I mean, I was a dope head. I was, a drunk. And there's so many people out there that have so many issues. And sometimes we start looking at them and we expect them to be whole, but they're not capable of being whole because they just are broken. You know what I'm saying? They've spent their life, their youth, every resource they know of, and never get free. So it's been on my heart and my mind, and the enemy has fought this event so much. I've stayed so busy. I've had so much going on in my personal life to where it's just distracted me, and I just know that this is an event that I have to put together for ex-addicts, people who have embraced recovery. They say, you know what, I'm gonna start fighting this giant. Don't mean I may not fall again, but I'm gonna at least start fighting back. And so we're gonna be celebrating people. I'm gonna be showcasing some of my new music that night for my new project on a Friday night, September 28th, and then the following day we're going to do a prayer breakfast and some sessions and just close it out with a big bang. It's something I want to do annually for ex-addicts across the country. So we got van loads coming from New York, Charlotte, just all over the place. We just all kick it.
Well, that is a beautiful vision, because how many of us have relatives in our family that we know have struggled throughout the years with addiction, and then to finally have a place where they can go to be encouraged with people who are like-minded, know exactly what they're going through. Not sort of, kind of, but no. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. And this event is for everybody. It's not just for the addict. It's for the addict. It's for the loved one that has an addict. It's for a child of an addict. I mean, it's for someone who is an addict and never even tried to recover. For them, whoever, it's going to be all kind of different people here. So we keep getting calls and emails from people. They're bringing in van loads from their churches. So I don't know what we're going to do, but everybody will have a blast.
Wow, that is awesome. And you mentioned you're going to be showcasing your new project that Friday night. Tell us about your new project. I believe this is your third project?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell us about the project.
Well, I'm excited about it. My first project was more of like a testimonial project where I just put a lot of soulful ballads and fun music about my triumphs, my grief, my pain, my trials. You know what I'm talking about. I just wrote songs about that and then showcased them in a nice kind of soulful R&B presentation. And it's in a studio. Now, my second project, obviously, as everyone knows, it was a live praise and worship project. This time I'm going back to do something a little bit more soulful and testimony. This is going to be some more stuff about the rest of the chapters in my life. And then I'll go back and do some praise and worship next time, but this is what I'm going to give y'all right now.
Hey, well, amen. But I want to make sure.
Hey, girl, let me tell you something. We're doing, you remember He's Preparing Me by Daryl Coley?
Oh, yes, I play that on my show still, yes.
I'm redoing that on this next project with and having Daryl to come in and be part of it. It's going to be so exciting. I love that man.
Wow. Now, that song brings me to tears, and I hear that, especially when God has taken me to another level and you put that on for something I cannot handle right now. Oh, my, that's going to be powerful. That is going to be a powerful night, especially bringing in Daryl. I love him.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it for Recovery Fest, but we definitely trying anyway.
It's funny. I have my own Daryl Coley testimony. See, I could play people's music all day. I know this is where my gifting lies, right? I sang in a Daryl Coley choir when he came to Oakland. Mind you, I'm tone deaf. So his choir director told me I was a neck singer. So I thought he was telling me something really good. And I said, and what is that? He said, you sing whatever note you next to. You next to an alto, you sing alto. You next to a soprano, you sing soprano. He said, girl, you all over the place. But I just wanted to sing, but that is just not my gift. So I played the singer. So that's what I do. But I want to remind everyone, where is it going to be and where can people get information about the Recovery Fest?
You can go to recovery-fest.com or you can go to wessmorgan.com. It's Wess with two S's. In Tennessee. If you can call the office, 615-826-7575. That's a few ways you can go and grab some information right there. But we are asking that everyone that's coming RSVP. So so that people, we can make sure we have accommodations, overflow. I don't know what well it's going to be like, but we just want to make sure that everybody gets in on what it's really going to be. So I'm excited about it. We have to change.
Now, what can they expect to receive from this conference?
People are going to walk out of here with a surge of energy and inspiration that will actually cause them to bypass years of delay. Because what it's going to do is it's going to ignite something in their spirit. It's going to be fused with the whole method of recovery. It's going to be dynamic.
When you say bypass, it's like they're going to leap over some stuff. So God is going to truly bless them. Well, I want to just thank you so much for the vision that God has given you, and not just for the vision, because, you know, you have to be able to execute the vision. So I want to say thank you for executing that vision for so many people that need you. If somebody wanted to follow you, are you on Facebook or Twitter?
I'm on both of them.
Is it just your name, Wess Morgan?
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. Well, Wess, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, and we definitely look forward to having you again. We want to make sure that everyone go online to recovery-fest.com to get more information about the Recovery Fest that's taking place September 28th and 29th in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much, Wess.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you.
God bless you, too. Bye-bye.